This white carbuncle clinging to the back of our house is what we affectionately refer to as our conservatory. In the 20 or so years it's been there, it's hardly ever been used, for a number of reasons. In summer, it's way too warm, and in winter, it's freezing. Oh, and when it rains, it leaks like a sieve, and has done since day one. And it rains a lot here in the north of England. We have attempted to resolve this issue with resealing the conservatory and backing that up with a bitumen-backed flash band. It didn't work, so we kind of gave up. I want to give you a bit of a backstory here. In November 2019, I closed my bricks and mortar craft shop. Somehow I had to cram the contents of the shop, stock, craft workshop tools and materials, along with the shop fittings and furniture waiting to be upcycled, all into my house. Needless to say, every room was crammed, including the conservatory. In fact, you couldn't even walk into the conservatory. I didn't think it would be a problem to sort through and dispose of what wasn't needed. But just a week later, I got a new job. And a couple of months later, COVID hit. Unbeknown to me, I had contracted COVID in early December 2019, and it really took some getting over. When lockdown happened, I was working from home, so plenty of time to have a sort out and get rid of stuff, or so you'd think. The recycling centres were closed, as were the charity shops. But somehow I managed to compound the issue by amassing a large collection of vintage sewing machines. These took over my dining room, to the extent that I can't film for my channel there anymore. It got so cluttered that after a long day at work, I couldn't face squeezing my way in to work on a sewing machine. It was easier just to watch Coronation Street. So earlier this year, I decided to bite the bullet and have a huge clear out. Each weekend we'd spend a few hours sorting through an area, dividing items into 3 piles: stuff to keep, stuff to donate, and stuff to bin. And I became ruthless. So much so that we're on first name terms with the guys at the recycling centre, and the people at the local charity donation station think I work there. I had got it into my head that I wanted the dining room back, and that the conservatory would become my filming studio and workshop, as long as it wasn't too hot, or cold, or wet. I just needed some time off work and good weather, neither of which ever coincided, to strip the sealant on the roof and reseal it. It's quite a task to access where the roof meets the wall. Basically, it means taking the roof off the conservatory. Once everything was out of the conservatory, it was time for a deep clean. There was 3 years of dirt and cobwebs to contend with. This stuff was a godsend, TFR or traffic film remover. It's designed to remove road grime from cars and is a highly concentrated cleaner. It worked a treat, inside and out. I've since found out that this is what professional conservatory cleaners tend to use. Any stubborn marks that the TFR didn't get, such as rust spots, came off with my go-to bathroom cleaner, the pink stuff. The pink stuff is mildly abrasive and works wonder on the oxidised UPVC. We removed the polycarbonate roof panels and pressure washed them. The channels in the polycarbonate had moss growing in them, so the pressure washer was the best way to remove this. Next came removing the ineffective flash band. I hate bitumen. Again, wearing neoprene gloves, I started the laborious task of scraping the sticky bitumen from the UPVC frame. Once most of the bitumen was off, I cleaned up the frames with white spirits. It was a very messy process. I then had to dig out the old sealant, which is easier said than done. When the joints were finally clean, I resealed everything with OB1 multi-surface sealing and adhesive. OB1 is a master of all trades. It will seal and adhere to almost anything, even wet surfaces. It's also highly flexible. I've used OB1 to reseal my shower trays and my window frames, so I have high hopes for it here. After resealing the conservatory, I put the roof panels back in place and waited for it to rain to see if it had worked. I'm happy to say that we've had several downpours recently, and the inside of the conservatory has remained bone dry. I decided I wanted to make a pallet wood feature wall to film against. My plan was to collect pallet wood and give it a distressed paint effect. However, I was given some old weathered tongue and groove, and once scraped and wire brushed, it looked great without any paint effects. We made the frame out of timber we had lying about, and nailed the tongue and groove to that. I had planned to use an old dresser or sideboard in front of the feature wall, but couldn't find anything suitable at the right size, and so we decided to make a large cupboard out of the remainder of the wood. Now finished, the cupboard will hide quite a few vintage sewing machines. The only thing I bought were the black shelves and the hinges for the cupboard, so I spent about £15 in total. The conservatory still needs a few finishing touches, but I'm quite happy with how it's turning out. I need to find a sturdy table that doesn't bounce around when operating a sewing machine on it for a start. Let me know what you think about my new conservatory studio in the comments below. Thanks for watching.